What a fun week of news! From a guy using AI to catch critical medical errors that doctors miss, to Anthropic building a cybersecurity nightmare that's apparently too dangerous for you and me to actually use. US tech giants are a tad bit upset about China scraping their data, and OpenAI's pitched for the government to foot the bill for the unemployment crisis their products are creating. Let's dive into it. In a world where people are using AI to create terrible LinkedIn posts and generating deepfakes, others are using it for generally useful things. Pratik, a 34-year-old consultant from New Jersey with absolutely zero medical background, vibe-coded an AI workflow to help manage his mother's stage 4 cancer treatment. He took her medical records, fed them straight into Google's Notebook LM, and then used Claude to analyze the results and flag anything that didn't look quite right. And before you roll your eyes at the phrase vibe coding, like I did, this workflow actually caught things that human doctors actually missed. Specifically, 2 CAT scan misdiagnosis, 3 instances where the hospital named the wrong cancer, and it flagged 3 emergency situations. On one hand, it's great that the average Joe can access these advanced AI and do this, but on the other hand, it does expose the fact that we have overworked doctors that are likely to make more errors. Sadly, his mum passed away, but Pratik did note that the tool wasn't built to find a miracle cure. It was about helping her die with dignity, and it did just that, giving her 76 days of better care. He's now sharing the workflow to help others, though if you do use it, expect a little bit of pushback. Anthropic just announced they've built an AI so dangerous they literally can't release it to us mere mortals. It's called Claude Mythos, which of course was leaked a few weeks ago, and it's basically a nightmare to every cybersecurity expert in the world. It even found a 27-year-old vulnerability in OpenBSD. I mean, 27 years old. That's bugs old enough to not only get a mortgage but also start complaining about their lower back pain. Now, if you're wondering why this all matters, well, OpenBSD is known as one of the most secure operating systems in the world, used to run things like critical infrastructure, so thankfully nothing too important. To prevent mass hacking across the globe, if their benchmarks are, of course, to be believed, Anthropic launched Project Glasswing, giving 100 million credits to big enterprise companies to help fix their infrastructure before similar models hit the market. Unfortunately for the US, well, the Pentagon, to be more precise, they'll be unable to use this new model. At the exact same time that Anthropic released this beast, it appears that the US Pentagon has won the court to sustain Anthropic's designation of being a supply chain risk. That's right, the military claiming the very company that's looking to help fix the cybersecurity issues is a threat to their national security. So Anthropic's new model is too dangerous for the public, too ethical for the military, and apparently perfectly fine for enterprise tech. I'd asked Mythos to find a vulnerability in my bank account, but I've just been told that being broke apparently is not a software bug. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google have decided to hold hands and form a quiet alliance against Chinese startups that are using their AI models to train on, using a fancy term called adversarial distillation, which I'm not going to explain here. Not that I couldn't, but I'm tired. I didn't really sleep last night, but I totally could if I wanted to. Turns out foreign labs like DeepSeek and Minimax are essentially cloning premium US models for pennies. And by pennies, I mean Minimax alone siphoned off 13 million exchanges from the Anthropic's Claude. Meanwhile, Google called a single campaign firing over 100,000 prompts just to steal Gemini's reasoning. Talk about being needy. Now they're calling this a national security issue because a cloned AI without safety guardrails is super dangerous. Alongside the fact that this is just me speculating here, so take it with a grain of salt, that they're probably not entirely happy watching other companies' open source models trained on their AIs. There's also a tad bit of irony here with the US labs building their multi-billion-dollar AIs by scraping the entire internet for free without asking anyone. But the second someone scrapes their outputs while actually paying for the API tokens to do so, it's suddenly, ooh, international crisis. I guess it's only fair use when you're the one doing the using. And OpenAI has decided that disrupting the whole tech industry just wasn't enough. Now they had to rewrite the American tax code. They just dropped a 13-page memo proposing a robot tax, I guess because taxing human patient wasn't enough. They're also pitching a government-funded public work fund, a pilot for 4 days work week. Okay, Sam, I'm interested now. All this because they're quite confident that AI is going to decimate the labor market, with Klarna's CEO already planning to slash 1/3 of its workforce by 2030. Ordinary folks like you and me need a safety net. And by safety net, I mean asking the federal government to subsidize the massive unemployment crisis their own products are about to cause. It's a bold strategy, let's see if it pays off, though hopefully it doesn't pay off because, I do like having a job. Honestly, fair play to OpenAI. Create the problem, then suggest the government pays for the solution. Cement yourself as a utility that's just too big to fail. Wait, are they classifying themselves as a bank now or something? This document is apparently just a starting point, but if we really get to the 4-day work week without a pay cut, I may just, go along with the suggestions. That's it for me this week. I'm off to see if I can get early access to that 4-day work week Sam is petitioning for.